Okay, I'd like to call to order the Finance Committee meeting of September 21st, 2020 at approximately 5:01 p.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
That'll be Councillor Abeyta,
Here.
Councillor Lindell, Councillor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Councillor Villarreal,
Present.
and Councillor Cassett Sanchez.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. The next item is approval of the agenda. And I got the couple of notes that I received today from the staff. The first being that item B under consent, that item's going to be withdrawn at this point because there's some more information that they're still gathering. So we will not hear item B. And the presentation from benefits presentation will be put off to our next Finance Committee meeting. So we won't have that either.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just a clarification, B as in boy or D as in dog?
Oh, I'm sorry, B as in boy. Ms. McCoy, did you?
What
Yes.
what item is that?
Item B, which is the project status presentation related to the Salvador Perez Rec Building.
Okay.
Ms. McCoy, did you have any other changes from the agenda, and did I get that right?
Mr. Chair, you got that right, and we have no other changes.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Move to approve as amended.
Second.
Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Councillor Abeyta,
Yes.
Councillor Lindell, Councillor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Councillor Villarreal,
Yes.
and Councillor Cassett Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilor Lindell is joined.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, so Councilor Lindell, we had just approved the agenda. Item B, as in boy, has been withdrawn. It will not be heard. There's still more information that's needed. And then the presentation at the end is also going to be postponed to probably the next Finance Committee meeting.
Thank you, Chair. What's item B?
That is the project status presentation in regard to Salvador Perez.
Okay, because I was going to pull that. So thank you very much.
Okay, so approval of the consent agenda. Are there items that the committee would like to withdraw from the consent agenda?
Mr. Chair, I just have a quick question for item D as in dog.
Okay. Any other items? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended?
Move to approve as amended.
Second.
Okay, can I have a roll call?
Councillor Abeyta,
Yes.
Councillor Lindell,
Yes.
Councillor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Councillor Villarreal,
Yes.
Councillor Cassett Sanchez.
Yes.
Okay, the consent agenda has been approved. The next item is approval of our minutes from the Finance Committee meeting of August 31st, 2020. Are there changes from staff?
No changes, Mr. Chair.
Changes from the committee? I have a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Councillor Abeyta,
Yes.
Councillor Lindell,
Yes.
Councillor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Councillor Villarreal,
Yes.
Councillor Cassett Sanchez.
Yes.
Okay, so that brings us to item D, which is consideration of resolution number 2020, a resolution adopting the 2022-2026 Senior Infrastructure Capital Improvements Plan for the Division of Senior Services. Councilwoman Villarreal.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick question for staff. I think Gino Rinaldi's on.
Yes, I am.
On page 41, the item is in reference to replacing the the MEG roof. And I just wanted to understand better about the legislative appropriation that we received in 2016 that was extended to 2018. And if there was an additional extension that was needed for that amount. And then simultaneously, how that amount will actually mesh with the funding request for the remainder to be able to actually finish the project, and why the request is for 2023, which is a long ways away. And I think we have to finish and use that money soon. So I'm just wondering like the timing of everything.
Mr. Chairman, Councilor Villarreal, there's a little bit of strategy that goes into the submission, and it's not knowing if indeed we're going to get the full amount. So the remodeling, as you can see, it says 1.9 million. We didn't get the 1.9 million on the GEO bond, and I can get you the exact amount that's going to show up on the GEO bond. The GEO bond doesn't go before the voters until November. So technically, if they don't vote for it, we could not get any of this. So we keep it on the ICIP, particularly since they won't allow us to apply for any additional funding if it's not on there. So the $324,710 for the roof replacement, we haven't even put that an application for that yet, but we can't apply for it if it's not on our ICIP. So we may very well not need that money, but these are these placeholders that you and the method that you have to go through with this ICIP process. And it's the same thing, like I said, with the completion. I believe that based on the architectural drawings and everything we went through to initially apply for this money in April of last year is sufficient to do the work that we need to be done here at the MEG Center, possibly including the roof replacement. So it's kind of like you put a lot of irons in the fire and you hope one of them gets hot.
Right. Okay, so I understand. So what I'm understanding, you're saying because it says the proposed project start date is 2023. Is that just a placeholder that you
Yes,
put
ma'am.
for the ICIP, right?
Mr. Chairman, Councilor Villarreal, yes, it is a placeholder.
Okay, so what happens with the money that we had that was appropriated in 2016 that was extended to, it was the 36,000 amount. So have we already used that? Is that what you're saying?
The appropriations that we received in 2016, none of them are on here. So these are new.
Right, but I'm looking at the scope
Correct.
of work. I'm looking at the scope of work. It's just giving some background info. So for this particular piece, for the Mary Esther Gonzalez roof replacement, we've already received money and then it was extended to utilize it. So has that been used?
Mr. Chairman, Councilor Villarreal, we have approximately 130,000 remaining of that 2016 appropriation. We did use some of it for roof repair with the idea that we want to replace the entire roof. You know, whenever you get new HVAC systems or whenever you do new this or new that, you have a hodgepodge of roof. And so we'd like to try to get one solid, good roof. So we did a roof repair and it appears that we're holding up. We haven't had, knock on wood, we haven't really had any leaks. So that the hope is that by 2022, which is, so this appropriation will get passed in this November. Then it goes before the legislature to, they have to vote to sell the bonds. And then by the time everything gets all set up, we won't see any money until probably November or December, or not money, but the contract coming our way to run through council till around November or December of 2021. And we probably won't see any beginning of this thing until 2022. So it's pushing it out. I didn't want to, if we had any issues, I didn't want to find ourselves without any ability to apply. But as far as that 130,000, we're looking at expending that here shortly. We want to do some parking lot repair here at the Meg with that money.
Right. So I guess what you're saying, out of that 130, well, before that, there was probably a bigger amount, but you're saying,
336,000.
okay, so the 36,500
No.
has already been used to fix the parts of the roof. And this is just, we're continuing the need for roof repair, and we're looking at ICIP funding to do it. Is that correct? Is that right?
Mr. Chairman, Councilor Villarreal, the 1.9 million is probably going to cover it all. And next year, we may not even have the 324,000, but it's hard to say until we get into the project and start to really look at what the full scope of work and the availability of funds. I expected to build the new addition to the Meg for the 200,000 we had. It turned out to cost us 250,000, and the city came in and helped us with this bond money that they did. So the price of things here in Santa Fe are very different than the price of Bernalillo,
That's for sure.
where I'm from.
Yep. I was just trying to piece it all together because it's coming from different sources, and part of it's strategy and part of it's just a placeholder. And so I was just trying to figure out, from the time that we've done roofing replacement or improvements to the next phase, is what I was trying to understand.
Mr. Chairman, Councilor Villarreal, I appreciate the questions. This isn't every day I get a chance to try to explain what I'm doing. But just for we were able to the grant we put in last year, the application, resulted in us getting the funding for the vehicles. It also gave us the funding for the corral improvements, and then the remodeling, as well as the planning, and let's see, it would be down here, the very bottom one. No, wait, where is it? Where it says new senior center, that's planning, design, and construct money. So we were quite successful in our applications. It was, we netted quite a bit this last year, and it's probably a good thing, because I'm not sure how strong the economy is going to be in the years coming, as far as with severance tax and bonds and whatnot. But at least this is a GEO bond, so this should carry good. So anyways, if you have any more questions.
Thank you for the information. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, any other questions from the committee?
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second,
Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Counselor Betha,
Yes.
Counselor Lindell,
yes.
Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Villarreal,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett Sanchez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so that concludes the items on the agenda. We are on matters from staff. Ms. McCoy. You're on mute, Mary.
There we go. Thank you. We just wanted to do a quick PSA on the census. As many of you know, the last day to fill out the census is next Wednesday, September 30th. So again, that's less than a week and a half for us to ensure that our residents are counted, because this does count for funding, federal funding that we can potentially receive in the city. So that's my2020census.gov. Pretty short, memorable website. So if you wanted to get the word out to your constituents, that's my2020census.gov. And the last day is next Wednesday, September 30th. That's all we have tonight, Mr. Chair.
Okay, matters from the committee. Okay, and then the only thing I have is that our next meeting is October 5th, 2020. And I would think that at some point in October, Mary, we will have our first quarter report for the fiscal year, right? Because the quarter ends now in September.
Mr. Chair, yes, you are correct. The quarter ends at the end of September. It takes us about a month to actually close the books, and then another few weeks to process the report for the committee. So it is a lengthy process as we close out the quarter. What we will be providing in the meantime is our GRT updates. We did receive data from TRD that our staff is continuing to review and analyze for the first month of July. So we'll give you the July 2020 compared to July 2019. This is our first update on GRT for fiscal year 21.
Okay, and that should be, you think you'll be ready with that on October 5th?
Yes. We'll send it out within the next week in an email format.
Okay, great. All right, then with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Get some sleep, Jamie.
Thank you. I'll try.